as Eli Manning stays on his feet. It is caught by Tyree.
Catch the Moment podcast, Super Bowl edition. This, for me, is 15 years since the helmet catch back in Arizona. But I'm here. This is a long time coming, man. Chris, what's going on, bro?
What's up, man? Dave? I mean, man, that moment, it gives me chills when you talk about it.
So that's always the first question. What was your thoughts going in your head when you see the helmet catch? It's obviously 15 years, long time, but everybody's got a story, a thought, usually know where they are. Give me yours.
I was at home, right? It was the year after I had lost my spleen, so I had spent a year on IR, right?
You lost your spleen, bro?
Yeah, I lost my spleen 2006. Yeah. So I had to fight that. So that year, I came to your Week 17 game. I wasn't playing. I was on IR.
Patriots.
It was like the holidays, I think. So I came, and I was like, damn, I'm going to a Giant game. Like, I don't give a crap if I'm in the NFL or not. I was like, Dad, you still got tickets, right? And he's like, yeah, we still got the 4 tickets, Christopher. And I was like, all right, well, don't give them away this week. I'm going.
Facts.
Right? So went to it. I think it was a Saturday night game. It was a night game. I think it was a Saturday night.
It was a night game.
Yeah, I don't think it was a Monday night. And, Brady threw the 50 touchdown passes and all. It was a great game.
It was an amazing game.
So, fast forward. Then you play my Bucks in the wild card round.
No doubt.
Now, I'm not playing. I'm at home again sitting and watching. But either way, so, I mean, I think from watching that last regular season matchup, and then you beat my Bucks team, where I was starting to go, ooh, watch out for the Giants here. And, of course, it's the Giants, and it's who I root for anyways.
Yep.
So I was just sitting in the family room at the Dad's house, watching the game, watching you do it. And the best part I love about it now, first off, I mean, that was like a get off the chair, holy shit, did he fucking catch that ball? Holy shit, I think he fucking caught it, right? I figure you can swear on this podcast.
That's all good. You clean.
Right? All right, so that was that moment. And then the best part that kicks it all, to fast forward to now, I work with Rodney Harrison. I get to bring it up like 2 or 3 times a year. We're walking through the Hall of Fame. There's pictures of you, helmet kid. Hey, Rodney, let's take a picture, right? So
you shading him all the time.
I give it to him all the time, and he's a good sport about it.
No, he's been a fantastic,
great sport about it.
I seen him literally go through the evolution of. I remember the first. I'm a dude, and we're from Jersey, so it's kind of like. I knew I was a special teams player, but I knew I could ball.
Yeah.
Right. At the end of the day, no one wants to be in no box, and you knew you could ball. So I get my moment. I get injured not too long, and that goes right down. Right.
Yeah, right.
So it wasn't this dream comeback, build on a career, and build something moving forward. But I'm also content. But I saw Rodney; he was struggling at first. It's like we didn't prepare for this guy. This lucky catch, and I'm like, oh, come on, bro.
Right.
Come on, but you know what? I watched him through the years, like
progress
really
and mature in the conversation.
Yeah. It was hilarious, though, man.
Because he's gotten to the point now where he's like, I was pulling the shit out of his arm. He's like, I was hacking the shit out of his with the other arm. He's like, I really did all I could do, and I'm like, I know, Rodney. I see the replay. You are. It's still one of the damnedest things in sports history. I don't know how the hell that's called that Jersey Strong right there.
Jersey Strong for sure.
Right.
Yeah, it was like I call it a moment of providence. People have kind of heard some of my story to faith. Yep. There's some wild stories behind the whole journey, but I want to get into some of you, man. Like obviously, son of a legend. And created your own legend in your own right. And you kind of like even kill, like nothing's too big, nothing's too small. I've always got that from you from a distance, but how was that really in relation to paving your own path, knowing that was a reality for you too?
Yeah, I think that, I love the sport.
Yep.
I think you know me enough to know that, damn, David Tyree and Montclair playing Bergen Catholic on a Saturday. I'm going to go watch the game. We played Friday night.
They don't even get it.
I love football. I love it. And, of course, yes, growing up with it and being around my dad and getting to witness his career. I mean, my first passion was to play and be in a Super Bowl, right? I never got to play in a Super Bowl. I went into coaching a little. I went and worked for New England when I got done playing.
Really?
I was there for about 19 months. And I was like, I was liking the process, but I had young kids at the time, and I was like, damn, it's the season. I don't think I've seen my little boy since like the first week of September.
I knew it wasn't an option for me at all, bro.
So it ate away at me.
Yep.
And I got offered another job with another team in the NFL to be a quarterback coach, and I came home one day and I told my wife, and she's like, we're going to move again? Because I got hurt at the end of my career, so we moved a few times.
Yep.
And I was like, man, she's like, I don't know if I signed up for this. And I was like, I don't know if I did either. I got to reevaluate here. And so that's when I started to kind of, wait, maybe I want to talk about football a little bit. You know, my dad, of course, was announcing games. I think anybody that's ever knew me knew I can, you know, I know you don't know me that well, but I can talk shit. I was the proverbial shit stirrer in the locker room almost on a daily basis. I was the guy that came in and posed like, you know, Shaq or Kobe or LeBron, and I'd make a whole day of it in the locker room. So my passion was always there in that department too, and slowly but surely I got the Bleacher Report, and that's really where it started to kind of pop off a little bit. And I love studying the game. I like watching film still and doing that.
You're crushing it.
And I got a big mouth, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind, and that's where I've been fortunate.
Listen, so like I said, we grow up, and you grow up in it in a different way, but we grow up in the evolution of the sport. I think when we were kids, the NFL was just becoming a major product of the 80s, right?
Exactly.
So tell me your thoughts right now. Like, you know, we're in a, you know, not just the censorship world, but we talked about it. Like, I get arrested on marijuana possession.
Yeah.
I remember I get drafted in 03s. Me and Rod Babers.
Right.
You know, I got purple haze all day. I'm young from Jersey, acting up.
Right.
What is your thoughts on just the whole evolution? Not just about the whole marijuana thing, but how guys have to navigate their career, understanding the cost. Right?
Yeah. Right.
I think at the end of the day, there's benefits on both sides, where the moderation side, stewardship side.
Right.
But, you know, talk about some of your journey of just being a real dude, smoking weed, growing up,
I mean, Rod was my smoking buddy. That was my homie.
We was chiefing up.
Yeah, he was my guy. I mean, I'd still smoke. I mean, that's what I do. I'm not a drinker, really. So, you know, if I want to sit back, relax, and, you know, calm my mind a little bit, it's what I do. You know, but yeah, there was a stigma around that was so crazy when we were growing, like where you were like,
the depth of the stigma. They treated somebody who had marijuana like he was a hardcore criminal.
Exactly right. Yeah. And you're just like, what? Like, all I do when I smoke, we just go sit on the couch and watch a funny movie. Like, that's criminal? And yet we're going to be able to drink and drive and do all these and drinking causes all these deaths. So when I got into media, I was like, I'm not going to hide from that. I'm not. And I'm on NBC Sports, and I talk about it openly. I do. I'm just, you know, I'm a good father. I work hard. I handle my business. So if you want to judge me because I smoke weed, then go ahead. So what? But like, you know, so I'm glad they backed off those restrictions in the NFL and even, you know, throughout our country publicly, because it is stupid.
I think publicly. I think the biggest thing to me was the legal ramifications. Like, I'm in the middle of the road where at the end of the day is we can't ignore the science on the positive side.
Yeah, right.
We can't ignore the falters and the misuse of anything, right? It's kind of like the misuse. Right. So at the end of the day, there's
a fine line.
There's a fine line.
There's a fine line. I like, you know, hey, I like to smoke. I don't like to take, you know, edibles
candy
or anything. I don't like that. They fuck with my stomach.
Yeah.
So I am a smoker
of the flower. I've never done it, but like I said, it's a bad, like the product and the, you know, the packaging of any drug is going to be a challenge, right?
Right.
So yeah, man, I think number one, I know that reality exists. We had to kind of overcome it, navigate it. It was a changing point for me in my life when I got arrested, right? It was just like, damn, I've been the captain of my own ship for my whole life. When you land in a Fort Lee jail cell, you're like, who the hell am I and what am I doing
with my life? I've had that moment myself, man. I know.
So
I was in the drug program 6 out of the 8 years in my NFL career.
6 years?
6 out of the 8. Right. Because I was
literally thugging Jersey style.
I was just I was always like, you come back for OTAs, right? And you knew they could I was like, they're not going to get me right away. So I'd be like, I'm going to smoke a little this. And then, the next week I was on the list. And I was like, oh shit, I'm going to the drug program. And then, I'd get out of it 2 years later.
Yeah.
And, okay, now I didn't get tested at OTAs or minicamp, right? But now it's time to go home for training camp.
There it is.
And that first few days
that
of training,
random joint?
well, they won't get me right when I come back from training camp. So I'd smoke a little of that. Boom, back in the program. So sometimes people come up to me and they're like, do you ever wonder if your career would have been different if you didn't smoke? And I go, I didn't smoke most of my career, actually. So your theory's wrong there, right? I actually go, no, I think I might have been better if I got to do what I was supposed to do a little bit.
Yeah.
And let me take the edge off a little bit every now and then.
So I'm certain success is relative, right? At the end of the day, as long as you're doing something that is valuable and fulfilling, that's a measure of success.
Yeah.
What has been the biggest obstacle for for Chris Sims to overcome as you've kind of ascended to some of the place in your career?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I think that's the first thing I want to say to you.
That's
all
huge.
right? I've been fortunate. I mean, come on. I grew up as Phil Sims' son, right? I got to be a part of a livelihood as a kid that kids would, cherish.
No doubt.
I'm going Sundays, like waking up going, I'm going to watch my dad play Reggie White and the Eagles today. Like, how does he beat that?
Well, it's legendary.
Right. So I'm never going to be one to complain about my life. Now, were there lessons I learned maybe the hard way along the way that have made me who I am? Of course. They lose to the Eagles that day. The next day, my dad was on the cover of the paper and it said he sucked, right?
Yeah.
So I had to learn that too.
You had to learn how to eat that from a distance.
Had to learn to eat that, right? Throughout the way, I used to relish the pressure of my last name because I'd go into a field or a basketball and I'd hear, there's the Sims kid there. And I'm going to show them the Sims kid today. You watch it. They start their chants, right? Sims sucks or we hate the Giants, whatever. And I'd be like, watch me hit 7 threes on your ass today and we'll see how you feel in a minute. All right. So I relish that. It gave me, it of course put some pressure in the spotlight on it, but I think it helped me in my college and NFL career, right? And then, I think as far as the challenges now, or maybe to this part of the career is, I think one of the things that always gets thrown at me is I only have the job because of my dad. And not that I care, but it's like, that's not true.
It's not true.
And I guess I do care to a point because I want to go, wait, I work really hard at what I do, and and I think you could. And some people in this business would go, no, I think you've actually surpassed your dad to a degree. I know I certainly haven't as a player or anything like that, but so that's where, like, at times those are the challenges and the bullshit things you have to hear. Let alone, hey, I'm not afraid to be honest about my football evaluations, and sometimes I say things that are unpopular to the masses, and then I got to stand my ground. And then I hate when people try to go personal on you. You're a racist. Or you just don't like this person.
I'm so dead with that, bro.
That shit just drives me crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you said it because, number one, you have the perfect balance of understanding that there's a thing called real privilege, and real privilege is not a bad thing. Meaning, at the end of the day, if your kids, they have the privilege and all the access that comes along with being your kids, and so does everybody else's kids, so we can just cut out all the nonsense. And then there's some, you could argue and have your own opinion about whatever, but at the end of the day, none of us are controlling, and all you can do is walk in the blessing, privilege, and favor that you got and still work your behind off earn the rest of it.
That's right. And it's not personal with the football evaluation. That's where I just go, I've been a little critical. Jalen Hurts has become a thing for me here because, I try to tell people, hey, pump the brakes. I'm not ready to put him in the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen class yet.
I'm not either.
I know. He's really good. He's done great. But I also go, this team's amazing. And then, the game can be easy for him at quarterback at times because they can just run it every play. And
100%.
Right? And
I
but
said
then people, you don't like black quarterbacks, Chris, or you're a hater on Jalen. I just got to see more before I started putting him in the class of a guy that I look at as to be an all-time great, already first ballot Hall of Famer in Mahomes.
100%.
You know what I mean?
I completely agree. Yeah. I actually said Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts are actually similar.
Exactly. That's what I said on Philly yesterday, and I'm trending on Twitter because I'd go, wait, Daniel Jones can rip an 80-yard run down the sideline as good as anybody in the sport.
100%.
And his throwing is, I think, every bit as equal as Jalen Hurts, too, if not better.
Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts has a better football team, and I think
people lose that. They lose sight of team too much nowadays.
100%, man. And I think there's a tier of quarterback. This is, and like I said, I'm kind of sharing more, doing some media stuff, and I'm like, well, it's like the Eli Manning conversation. You have to objectively look at Eli's career. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes. I say yes. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Right.
I say no.
Yeah, I hear you.
And it has nothing to do with my relationship with Eli Manning. It just says that dude made one Pro Bowl, I think. Can we objectively say that that is enough?
He's awesome. Yeah, you're not saying anything bad about it. People will take that and go, you don't like Eli Manning. And you're like, ridiculous. No, I'm just giving you a realistic analysis of my thought as an ex-player, what I've learned from the game, and what we've seen in totality. You're not saying anything negative about the guy. That's what's crazy is you give compliments and it's not a good enough compliment, and they think you're a jerk. Yeah, that's where you're like, what? Come on now, come on.
I love it, man. What's life like for Chris Sims? Like I said, when you have such the public facade and you're, like I said, you're pioneering in some of your media work. What's the life like away? What is the spell for you, your family life, and how you just take it easy and swing?
I'm simple. I mean, I'm at the point where like I actually like kind of make a purpose like a Thursday, Friday night. Sometimes I'm so exhausted from talking all week because I do 3 podcasts, I do 4 2-hour TV shows and a bunch of other crap where, you know, it comes Friday night where I gotta sometimes just be like, I'm not doing anything tonight. I'm just gonna be hanging with the wife. It's me and her at dinner or me and her on the couch.
Well done.
I can't do that. I have a 16-year-old, a 12-year-old.
There you go.
You know, so I'm driving them around to all their type of stuff. live on a farm. So
get out of here.
I have chickens, a rooster, free range.
You got my dream. Like I got 7 kids, no farm.
Oh, so you can get there. You can get there. But yeah, we bought a real old house, and we live on an old farmhouse
in Jersey
and in Connecticut, right? Because I got NBC Sports is up in Stamford, Connecticut.
Got you.
And you know, we do our own maple syrup, our own honey.
Man, you're killing it.
We're
boy.
doing that kind of thing.
This
like,
is my dude.
Just living a nice, normal, easygoing life.
I think that's the goal. I think as you mature, you realize that the true value is in simplicity. You thank God for all the access, the opportunity. Right. Sports is just one of the most amazing platforms. I'm going to peel back. We talked a little bit about this. Let's talk about, you were at Ramapo High School. You weren't at Bosco. I know your little bro did Bosco.
Right.
I know I know Dad's been all tied in. Let's talk a little bit about just that whole dynamic, playing in public, knowing what the Jersey sports scenes.
Right.
I always feel like Jersey's a little bit overlooked because
definitely,
like obviously Florida, Texas, Georgia, all these hotbeds.
Right.
Tell me your thoughts, of course, just in general, what it was like playing in that time, but also the evolution where we're at with the whole. It's a whole different landscape in high school sports.
I feel like when we were in high school, the smart coaches were like, shh, don't tell anybody there's good football players in Jersey. They were all like, don't tell anybody.
No doubt.
Right? It's broken out now.
Yep.
And like you just named the main states, right? What I think people will be shocked by is that they looked up NFL players by state. I believe New Jersey's like 6th most players in the NFL. Little old small ass New Jersey up in the right hand corner.
Come on, bro.
Right. Because we are densely populated, right? We got all kinds of different skin colors, cultures, everything.
I'm telling you, bro.
We're all pushed up close together.
It's the best.
It's competitive as hell.
No doubt.
Right? So that's where I think, when people talk about Jersey crazy, Jersey tough, all that, it's just because, hey, I'm living in Silver Spoon, Phil Simms town, but trust me, the hood is only like 2 towns over.
That's what people don't
get about Jersey. Yeah. Exactly right. They don't get. And you go like, okay, my team is, white, my town team, but as soon as I play in a little area team, like it's mostly black, and I'm the only white guy. So you get those experiences, and I went to a public school. I'm a believer in the public school type of thing, like you are.
I'm big time. I mean, like
for the community, everything.
No, I'm just big into the whole community. At the end of the day, is like you want to see your talent, your community thrive off of what's it's produced.
Yeah,
it's tough looking at what it's become. I understand how it's become that way. The pipeline mentality.
It's just all the commercial and the money's gotten into high school football,
bro.
I would guess most of your listeners are from the Northeast area.
Yeah, we're just getting started, man. You're going to help us right now.
Well, it's like the Bergen Catholics, the Boscos, the St. Joe's. It's great in some ways because they've given the state national notoriety.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I mean, they can't even play the public schools anymore.
And
in our day, you guys, us, Wayne Hills, Greg Olson, right?
Yep.
Hoboken.
Yep, Hoboken. Keon Walker, my dog, big roommate.
Yeah, Keon, and I played against all of them. Like, we would have been like, bring the Catholic schools on. We don't give a damn. But it's just a different age now, and it's like they're not only like Division I players on these teams. It's like we were talking about before the show here. It's like there's like 5-6 pros on every team in those ones we mentioned.
It's out of control.
It is,
and it's a beautiful thing, man. So, what are you most excited about? Like I said, you got beautiful family, couple kids there.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about at this stage of your career and life? And like I said, I think we're all adults now. We're kind of crafting the life that we would like to desire in a place where there's some meaning attached to it. So, what does meaning look like for Chris Simms at this stage?
Meaning to me is just continuing to evolve myself and be a better person. Enjoy life and the gifts that it gives you.
Yep.
I'm very happy with where I am in the state of my job. Sometimes the grass is green where you are. I'm not trying to look for greener grass over there. I'm
contentment.
I'm not one that's looking to, always the next deal, bigger, better. I can be content.
Heck yeah.
And I enjoy working what I do. I enjoy the balance of this life too, because I get to be a good husband and father and be around my kids. So
Proud of you, bro.
it's that life balance that I'm happy with. And I'm at that point where you're probably like this too, where I'm like, first off, I'm like, I can't believe I'm 42. I can't believe I got a 16-year-old, right? And I'm like, I can't believe how fast it's gone. Everybody told me it would go fast, and it feels like the last 10 years have been in fast forward.
Oh,
and now
gosh.
I find myself telling like other parents, like, enjoy them while they're young. It'll go fast. And I'm like, damn, I'm that dork now that says that.
I've been that dork for like 5 years.
Right? I
bro.
just can't believe it. I'll say it at the gym to people, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm that guy. Holy shit.
I'm definitely that guy. I just launched my son out to the Air Force, and like I said, I still got a whole bunch of jokers that we're lining up. The Tyree Nation is strong. Bro, your story inspires. Watching you from a distance, like I said, this is just great to wrap up a little bit, but watch you from a distance, maturing. Like I said, I got arrested because the same Purple Haze I was smoking in the off season, I think it was Fossil, hit me with like $10,000 worth of fines at the end of the year. Should have been 40. I was out of control. Like, people don't get it. Like, we had three of the outlaws were from Montclair. So, like, my mentality in that era of growing up in Montclair was just reckless.
Yeah.
But that was, like I said, it was the pivotal moment.
All football players.
Oh, we're reckless.
We're reckless.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just can we find the brake and not go too far down the crazy road. And dude, I've been there, so you don't have to tell it to me.
Nah, listen, man, it's amazing. Like I said, watching you take it full circle. Keep repping for Jers. Keep doing this thing at a high level, man. I appreciate you for checking in.
Thanks, man. D, I'm always a fan of yours. Anytime you need me, I'm here.
Appreciate you.